Hey friends, welcome to Vacation Bible School, Day 1. I am Pastor Justin, and I'm so excited to be here with you because I have got an amazing story to share with you. In fact, it's one of my favorite stories. It's from the book of Daniel, chapter 3. Now, I invite you right off the bat to read this story tonight with your mom and dad because it's an amazing story. It's full of drama and adventure and excitement. It's got mystery and miracles. And I want you to read the full thing because I'm just going to tell you the short version right here and right now. So once upon a time, there was a king named Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar was the king of all Babylonia, and the capital city of Babylonia was called Babylon. So one day, King Nebuchadnezzar is sitting on his throne in Babylon, and he says, I'm going to make a new law. I'm going to erect this golden statue, and when I play the music, I want everyone in Babylon to bow down and worship this golden statue, this false god, this idol. Now, King Nebuchadnezzar didn't know God and didn't love God, obviously, because if he had known God and loved God, Nebuchadnezzar would have known that God said long ago, "You shall have no other gods besides me. I am the one true God, the living God, the maker of heaven and earth. And you shall have no other gods besides me, and you shall not worship any false gods or any idols." Well, Nebuchadnezzar made this law, and this law was a real problem for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, 3 young Hebrew men. Now, these names sound funny to us, but these were actually 3 beautiful Hebrew names for 3 young Hebrew men. And that's something that I want you to know, is that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were not old men. They did not have gray hair or long beards. No, they were young. They were in their teens or in their 20s. Whatever the case, they were really not that much older than you. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego knew the Lord, and they loved the Lord, and they were determined to obey the Lord. So one day when Nebuchadnezzar plays the music, everyone in Babylon falls down and bows down to worship this golden statue, this idol. Everyone, that is, except for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Well, when Nebuchadnezzar finds out that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did not bow down to this golden statue, he becomes enraged. He gets so angry, and he has his guards arrest them and bring them before his throne. And he says, "Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the golden image that I have set up?" And then he says, I'm going to give you one more chance. I'm going to play the music, and I want you to fall down and worship the image that I have made. But if you do not, then you shall be thrown into a burning furnace. And who will ever be able to rescue you? Well, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego look at the king. And they say, "O king, we have no need to answer you in this matter. Our God that we serve is able to deliver us from the fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, we believe. But even if he doesn't, let it be known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up." Well, Nebuchadnezzar was filled with fury, and his face became angry. And he commanded his guards to bind up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to heat up the fiery furnace, and to throw them in. So that's what they do. And then Nebuchadnezzar says, "Ha! That's it for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. No more of them." But then a minute passes, and Nebuchadnezzar looks into the fiery furnace, and he says, wait, what is that? And he takes a step closer and he looks a little harder and he says, no, it can't be. It can't be. And he says to his counselors, he says, didn't we throw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, 3 young men, into the fiery furnace? And they say, yes, king, we sure did. And Nebuchadnezzar says, look, I am looking into the furnace and I see 3 young men, unbound, standing up, walking around the fiery furnace unharmed. And look again, I see a 4th man walking around in the furnace with them. And the 4th man looks like the Son of God. Well, this was amazing. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown into the fiery furnace, but they weren't hurt. They were okay. They were standing up and walking around unbound. They were unsinged, not affected by the fire. And there was a 4th person in the furnace with them who looked like a son of the gods. Well, Nebuchadnezzar had Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego taken out of the fiery furnace. And they come out of the furnace, and Nebuchadnezzar says, oh, blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel to deliver his servants. Who is able to rescue in this way other than their God? So, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stayed faithful to God. They obeyed God no matter what. They stood up to an unjust law, and they stood up to an evil king. And in the end, that king came to know the Lord. Didn't I tell you that this was an amazing story? Friends, thank you so much for joining me for VBS Day 1. Now, let us worship the Lord, this amazing Lord, the Lord of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, in music and movement with Miss Britt.